Hello all. In this tutorial, we will see how to create an to-do list or to-do app using React and Firebase. Before going into the project, we will just see the demo of this project. Here I have already run this project, and here you can see that this is the heading, and here we have the input text to enter our task. I'll be entering one task like run ReactJS, and I will add here. Here you can see the listed added here, and similarly I'll be adding another task like happy coding. And I had here you can add n number of tasks here in this website. And not only this, these tasks are also stored in the backend in the Firebase. Here, if I have opened Firebase, here you can see that in this collection to dos, here we have two documents. In each document, we have one timestamp, and then there is the to do that is it is actually string. Here you can see the data type is string, and this is the timestamp. And also, this all the tasks are sorted by the timestamp. In this way, if we delete any one of these tasks here, if I delete this, here you can see one of the document is deleted here. Only the happy coding is remain. And if I also delete this, here you can see none of the documents are present. In this way, we can create to-do list or to-do app using this React.js and that is Firebase. Okay, by the end of this video, you can able to create an to-do app using React as a frontend and Firebase as the backend. And also we'll try to host this app using this Firebase. Okay, now we'll start our project. First of all, we'll open a command prompt and we'll create a new React app. The command is like npx create React app, and we'll give a React app like to do app. Okay, the React app has been created. It takes time depending upon your network actually. And now before starting to code, we'll just install some dependencies. I'll be using yarn to install. Before that, I'll go into the to do app, and to install any dependencies, I'll be using yarn add. First thing is like I'll be installing the material UI core. From this material UI core, I'll be importing some modules like buttons, inputs, and input labels, etc. And also I need some icons. For that, I'll be using these material UI icons. And also Firebase for the backend database. I think this also takes time and depending upon our network actually. Okay, the dependencies have been installed successfully now. Now we'll just start coding. So that first of all, we'll be opening this React app in a Visual Studio Code. The command is like code space dot, so that it will be automatically opening this folder in the Visual Studio Code. And also I'll be starting this React app using npm start. Okay, here the app is open in the Visual Studio Code. I'll just maximize it and I'll also zoom it for you. First of all, I will be opening the app.js in the src file. In the source folder, there is app.js. I will be opening it. I also zoom a little bit. Okay. Now, first thing is like I'll be removing all this. And I'll just keep an h1 tag. The heading will be like my to-do list. And I'll just save it. And also in the app.css styles, I'll be removing all this. And I'll just save it. Okay. Now we'll come back to our command prompt. Okay, here you can see that the app has loaded successfully. Now we'll go to our browser and we'll open our localhost 3000 here. Okay, here you can see that the app has loaded successfully, and here the heading H1 heading my to-do list has displayed successfully. Okay, now we'll go to the back to VS Code. The first thing is like, first of all, we will add one form here. In the form, first I'll give one input. Like we need one input and button to submit, and whenever we click submit button after entering any task, that should be displayed in the below. So that first of all we need one input, but input value, and the value should be like, for value, first of all we will be creating one use state. I'll be doing this. We import React from React, or first of all we'll be importing this use state from React. Okay, now we'll use state here. First thing like const, I'll be using input as a variable, input comma set input. For now I'll keep it as blank, and I'll use the input value here, value input, and also I'll be adding one variable like unchange. Whenever we enter the text, that should be stored in the input here, so that the text will be like set input. Here it should be like e dot target dot value. What happens here is like, whenever we give any input, like for example learn coding, that text will be set into the input variable. Similarly, now we'll create one button here. We'll name button name as add to do here. Similarly, like first of all the button type should be like submit button, and also on click the any action should be happening here. On click so that we'll add one function add to do, and I'll just copy this function. I'll create one function const, and it takes the input value here. Here this is the thing, but the where input value here which is entered in the input text. We don't want to send it to the under browser or under page, so that first of all we'll use one text like e.prevent default. Now to store our to-dos, we'll also create one use state for to-dos, todo set to do. Create to-dos and set to-dos. For now we'll make it as empty list here. Or instead of setting an empty list, we'll just add to text here. One to do is like learn ReactJS, and the second task will be like we can write as complete the project. We can add how many tasks we want here. For now I'll be adding 2 tasks, and then we'll set to do's here. Now it's like we have to append to the previous to do's, so that first of all we'll take previous to do's. For that we'll be adding new input here. It is like if I add under new input, this previous data will be there, and again for this their new data will be appending here. And after this we will clear we clear the input value here. We'll set input as blank here. Okay, now I will save it. Now I will go to the browser. If I refresh it, here you can see that. Here you can see add to do, but we haven't displayed this to do's, right? After form, we have to display this to do's, so that we'll be displaying it in the form of list. We'll make it another list here. In this another list, we have to loop through these to do's, or we can say it like we can map through these to do's, and we should print all these to do's here, so that we have one to do's dot map. For each to do in these to do's, we'll make list, and here we'll print the to do here. What here doing is like we are looping this through these to do's, and we'll be printing each to do here. Okay, here you can see this, the to do's are printing here. And now if I add any other to do here, like play football, and if I add here you can see the new to do is added here, and also this is empty. For now I'll be removing this. I'll just save it. Okay, here if you remember, like if I add one to do here, like learn football, and if I add, now if I refresh it, this will be going here, because it is storing statically, not dynamic. If we add this into database, then it will be there itself if we refresh it. Okay, here to add our stylings, we'll be using this material UI icons here. So that first of all, we'll import this material UI icons here. I'll be importing button, form control, input for given input, and also for input label here. Now I'll just comment it out for now. Now first of all, I will be using form instead of form control here, and inside the form control, I'll be using input label instead of input here, and inside this input label, I'll give this same heading like my to-do list. Below this, I'll give input now. It will be same here. I'll just copy this and I'll just paste it here. Now below this, I'll add one button here. The button type should be submit. Similarly, on click, we'll add this node, add to do here. It should be add to do here also. As it is this material UI icons, so we'll be adding some other variables or other features for this button. Some of this are like variant, it is like fulfilled, or we can say contained. And we will also set color, primary, that is blue. and the button text will be like add to do here, same as before. And here we'll be having one condition, like if there is only input value, then only this button should be activated, or else this button should be disabled. So that we'll be using one function like disable here. Here we can write like function not input. This means if there is no input, then this button be disabled here. If not, this will be not disabled and this will be active. Now I'll just save it and I'll just show you. If I refresh it, yeah, here you can see this. We can see this new input form, new button. The button is disabled here because there is empty in the input form, and these two to dos here. Okay, when it comes to CSS part, here for yeah, I'll be adding two. First is like display. We'll add grid here, and we'll make it in the center. Place items will be center actually. I'll save it. If I refresh it, okay, we have created an app class name. I'll just copy it and I'll just give to this div here. I'll just save it now. If I refresh, okay, here you can see this came here, but this button should be side right. Okay, we'll just go back to our code. Okay, and here if you see, this all should be in the form label, so that it will be in a line. Now I'll just save it. Okay, now here if you see, it is in line, but we have missed our heading here. We'll just uncomment it and I'll just save it. Okay, now here you can see it is there is a heading here, the input on the button, and two values, two tasks that is which have entered here manually. For now, I'll be removing this commenting section. Okay, now if you see in our website, if I add any task here like have coding, now if I click add to do here, this is good, but we don't need in this format. We'll add some stylings to this task here. So that what we'll be doing is like, first of all, in the source folder, we'll create one folder like components. And inside these components, we'll create one JavaScript file. We'll name it as todo.js. This is the default template of this React. I'll just save it. Now, first thing we'll do here is like, first we'll import some of the modules here from this material UI core. One is like list, and some of them are list item and list item text. Similarly, now what we are doing from the home page or from the input, we will getting one to do here, and we want to display this to do here. So that what we are doing here is like, we'll create one list here and we'll give a class name as, or we can give it like as to list. And inside this list, we'll have list items here. List item, and the list item text should be like, make self close tag, and we have primary keyword here. Primary will be like to do here, which is coming from the app folder actually here. I'll just save it. Now we'll just import this to-do function here. Import to-do from components.todo. Okay, now here we are using this here. Instead of displaying this in the form of list, we'll remove this list and I'll just create to-do, and the task we are entering will be sending through this component. To-do equals to do. Okay, now I'll just save it. Now if I come back to here, if I refresh it, okay, before that, one thing we have to change is like here I have entered previously material icons. Please change it to material core here. Now I'll just save it. Now if I open our browser, here you can see this, these are now perfectly spaced. Now we'll add some stylings to this. The stylings will be like the class name is we have entered is like to-do list. First thing, I'll make display flex, and the other thing is like we'll make it center, just fake under center here, and similarly align items center, and also I'll make width as around 800 pixels here. Similarly, I'll also add some border, 1 pixel, solid, and the color will be like light gray. And also we'll make sure that margin bottom. If you want, you can just copy and paste these CSS styles from my GitHub repo. I'll just share the link with you. Now I'll just save it. Now I'll go come to here. You can see this. Now it is looking good than previous. Now we have forgotten to add a delete icon here. We'll just go back to our to-do, and here we should make sure that the delete icons be present here below this list actually, or make sure that this is present in the list itself. Now delete forever icon actually. Delete forever icon from this. Yeah, this one. Okay, for now I'll be just, if I save it, if I refresh, I think we have getting some error here. Here it should be imported from this icons slash delete forever. Okay, now if I save it, okay, before that I'll just make it a font size to large. Okay, delete forever is not found. Okay, here we'll just check the error. I'll just remove this. If I save it, okay, now here you can see this the text is here and the delete button is here. Now everything looks fine. Okay, now everything looks good, and here when we come to our website, here everything looks good, but let's add one bullet icon here, so that we'll just go back to our website, and here we have imported the label icon. I'll just copy it and I'll just paste it before this text here. If we come back to it and if we refresh it, Okay, now here you can see this label is added here, and also I'll just add some space between this label and text here. To add some white space, I'll be using percent NBSP, and I'll just copy and paste 3 to 4 times. I just save it, and if I go it here, you can see. Okay, now here you can see that space is added here. Okay, till now we have added and created this app statically. Like here, if you see, if I add like play football, and if I add here, it will be adding. If I click delete, nothing is happening here because it is not adding to the database and nothing here. Till now, database part is not entered here. Okay, in this video, we have created like all these parts using statically. In the next video, we'll be creating an Firebase app, and we'll be creating a database, and we'll be adding and deleting the database. Thank you.